Those.
All right. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming. Just love to see a large crowd. I'm going to go ahead and formally call this meeting to order on December 17th. I'm Josh Hostetler, Vice President. Unfortunately, Laura McGraw is a little under the weather this evening. She's our president, usually runs the meeting, so I'll be filling in for her, but I'm sure she's watching on camera. So, Mrs. Blau, if you could please call the roll.
Mr. Davis.
Here.
Mr. Fauser.
Here.
Mr. Hostetler.
Here.
Mrs. Pat.
Here.
All right, if we could all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United I know, I'm trying to slow it down. All right, next up is the adoption of the meeting agenda for this evening. Is there a motion to adopt the agenda?
So.
Second.
Any discussion or changes? All right, hearing none. Would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Davis.
Yes.
Mr. Fauser.
Yes.
Mr. Hostetler.
Yes.
And Mrs. Pat.
Yes.
Okay, and now we will review and approve the minutes from our regular meeting on November 19th. Is there a motion to review and?
So moved. Second.
Anybody see any changes that needed to be made? No? Okay. Could you call the roll, please?
Mr. Davis.
Yes.
Mr. Fauser.
Yes.
Mr. Hostetler.
Yes.
And Mrs. Pat.
Yes.
Okay, next on the agenda is district updates.
So first up, we have the last of our buildings for the first half of the year, and the elementary school's here to share all of the exciting things that have been happening with.
Yeah, so we have a lot of exciting things to share. You can see we have a large crowd. So I brought them along to kind of share what is happening at CES. I'm not gonna have everybody come up at once with the different presenters I have, so there's not 40 people up here. But before we get into our presentation, I do want to recognize someone who thought she was just coming to support, but Mrs. Hendrick is here. She was our savior in August. When we ran into a bind with our first grade class sizes and needed to hire a new teacher. We're very lucky to find Mrs. Hendrick. She was it was twin day, that's why she's twinning. All right, our first set of presenters is Mrs. Lawrence and Mr. Tiger with all of their friends. They're going to talk about our new STEAM clubs that we have at the elementary school.
So we've been working on hydroponics, such as the EdRack, Flex Farm, Play-Doh buckets, and desktop systems. So here are some jobs we have to do. We have to check the water, we have to add water. We have to see if there's too many nutrients. And one of my favorites, harvest.
Of course.
So for example, I'm assigned to the EdRack. So we are all assigned to one of the 4 systems. Like I said, the EdRack, Flex Farms, desktop, and the Play-Doh buckets. Fun fact, it's 50% faster if you use hydroponics to grow plants. And you can use 90% less water when you're using hydroponics. In Makerspace, we do a lot of cool things. We're gonna be working on the 3D printer and lots more of crafts. We just finished making wooden ornaments, and we're gonna be doing lots more.
Our two clubs that we have, and we were so fortunate enough to be able to do this, starting this year. So we have the Green Thumb Club that obviously we're doing hydroponics. Makerspace is also another STEM club or STEAM club. And representing today, we have Mia and Parker and Brett and Cuddy and Ava. And she got a little bit nervous at the last second. But it's been amazing. One of the things too, that has been, that's helped us is we have written lots of grants. And it allows us to get different systems, continue to get supplies. We have lots of things donated and that's really helped too. So, and the kids have been outstanding. I think we have, I forgot, 80% of our fourth grade or something. I mean, it's a high percent of our entire fourth grade that, are in the clubs. And how many of you are both Makerspace and Green Thumb? Well, that's everybody up here right now. So, we have, quite a few that stay after and they have something. Do you guys have anything to say before? Did you guys have any questions? Or-
Can you guys make robots to help with the hydroponics? I'm just kidding. Maybe someday, huh?
Hey, Mr. Lawrence, you maybe just tell them a little bit of what you guys have grown, like in
Yeah, well, I'll let Mike talk about the green.
So some of the things that we're growing, we've harvested lettuce, 3 different varieties of lettuce. We tried cucumbers and it was a fail. It looked great, but no cucumbers. Basil and tomatoes. The tomatoes are growing great. Hopefully we'll get to eat some of those soon. But these guys stayed after today. They were part of, we had a guest speaker come in from Crop King. And they learned some cool things about hydroponics and got to harvest some lettuce today. And they've enjoyed some of the lettuce that we've had. They're very hard workers. And we're doing an amazing job. And it's great that we can have these clubs to bring something new to our students at the elementary school. So they can work those brains and think and grow and learn.
Oh, yeah, we, so me and my mom made like logos, with AI. This is how it turned out. Don't mind AI, she doesn't know how to.
So what did you do?
We created it by drawing, and Miss Lawrence made it into a sticker for our lettuce and basil.
So that's gonna end up going on our t-shirts. And I thought it was great. It came out fantastic.
Tell them all the things that you've got for like all your. Cricket.
Oh my gosh, Cricut, t-shirt press, the smaller press, the hat press, vinyl. 3D printers, we already had 2 and then we have 2 more. One I was able to build myself that somebody donated time for me to go and paid for me to go and do that.
Lawrence is the queen of partnerships and getting things and.
Grants, space grant, our Coventry Foundation grants are fantastic. And we're gonna try and write that one that's almost $10,000, so. And that's due in January, so I'm hoping we get that, and we'll just get more into the.
All of our growing systems that we have, they were paid for through grants.
Yes.
So they're very expensive. For what, they will write these grants and get those for their kids to be able to grow things.
Anything else? We have gifts for.
Yeah, they made gifts for you guys.
And that's a combined gift from Makerspace and Green Thumb.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I always wanted to try this hydroponics. Thank you. So much. Seriously, I see my kids grow.
We can get it to her. Yes.
Mrs. McGraw.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Send us here. Excellent.
All right, so that is our green thumb and thank you so much for covering, parents for bringing them. You guys are welcome to hang out for the rest of the presentation. If you don't want to, I totally understand. You can get out, get out to dinner, whatever you want to do. These are Steve and Makerspace folks. Thank you, John. All right, next we have Mrs. Gibson, one of our third grade teachers. She is gonna talk a little bit about what she does with CKLA and how she enhances it with all of the awesome things that she does. Before she starts, though, we just got our third grade fall OST results back on Monday. And we earned a 51% passage rate, which was awesome for the fall. Last year, we were 44%, so we went up 7% from last year, but also the state average decreased. But yet we increased, so I think that a lot to be said with what the third grade teachers have done, and everybody else below them. It's our third year with CKLA, so I think we're really starting to see the benefits of it.
So you take the test in the fall, so that's like the metric at the beginning of the year, right? And then
It's almost like a pre-test, like it covers the entire year curriculum.
Yeah, so this is a test that they're not supposed to pass until the spring.
That was what I wanted to bring up, yeah. Or
We've already done
51%, I was like, oh, that's failing, oh, that's pretty
Yeah.
good, because they haven't even, they weren't supposed to know this stuff yet.
Right.
Thank you. Hello. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. I'm typically talking to like 8-year-olds, so that's a little bigger. Like you said, I'm here to talk to you about my favorite parts of the year. Here I just wrote are this that we teach in CKLA, just some of them in third grade. We can classic tales, animal classification, human body, Roman civilization, light and sound, Vikings, astronomy and ecology. And when I first saw this curriculum and I looked at that, I was like, that's a lot for 8-year-olds, I feel. And not only do they love it and engage with it, the vocabulary that they get from it is astonishing on what they comprehend. But when I talk to people, when I told them I was going to become a teacher, I feel like all the negative things I heard was like, well, teachers didn't teach us this, or we didn't learn this in school. And so when I got my own classroom, that was my goal, was to make sure that kids left my classroom. I can't teach them taxes at 8 years old or whatever they say they wish to do, how to buy a car. But some of the things I can show is like future careers or valleys that they can take, like STEM and things that Miss Lawrence does. So at the end of every unit, I do what I call like a classroom culminating activity, just to summarize what we learned and then make it relevant to them. So I put a few of the examples up on the board that I do. Like for animals, we did habitats. For ancient Rome, that's what we're doing now. At the end, we're gonna make our own mini city with like aqueducts and roads, since that's what they learned with their culture from the Roman civilization was really important. But why Mr. Savage asked me to come today was for our most recent one, and my most favorite one is after human body. We did a hospital transformation. So I turned my classroom into like a surgical area. And this is my second year doing it. And I just posted on Facebook and asked my friends like, hey, does anyone have surgical masks they could donate or anything? And what I got was amazing. I got hat covers, shoe covers, gloves, masks. Some of my friends that I like graduated high school with gave me whole human body skeletons to bring in. So then that's what I transformed. But then I reached out to parents in my classroom and asked if any of them had any careers in a hospital setting. And I had 4 parents volunteer this year, and I had about 6 last year. But this year I had a labor and delivery nurse come in. I had 2 anesthesiologists, which was really fun, and I'll talk about that in a minute. And a paramedic come in this year. And then my grandma was a retired nurse, so she was able to stop in this year. And my best friend is a lab tech, so she was able to come in as well so that we could have 6 centers. The first center we did was the anesthesia center, which is the 4th picture there with the woman in the scrub cap. they are anesthesiologists for Cleveland Clinic, and so they brought in every single tool that they use and let the kids like push water through the tubing and use the mouth opener, and they were able to teach so much more than I ever could or what our CK lay books could. And a lot of my kids, they were like, oh, I had anesthesia when I got my teeth pulled or their tonsils out or whatever. So then they were able to teach them how they went to sleep and how they fell asleep for that. And I had like 3 kids leave my class that day, like, I think I could be an anesthesiologist, which was really awesome. The second one was a sensory bin, so I had Orbeez with bones hiding inside. They were able to look through those, and then our paramedic was there as well, and she did a stop with meat lesson there. So she brought in a tourniquet that she uses on the EMS and taught them how to do that, just because wounds are most typical medical thing that students would maybe see. So that was a really fun thing that she came prepared for and brought all of that. Next was our ASL center, because that's a chapter that they read about in our CKLA. So my student teacher was able to teach them some sign, which is really cool because we have some students in my class that utilize that as well. So then they have been able to use sign with their classmates. Then we did operating room, which actually Ava's mom helped. She was in my class last year. I had Ava, and Ava's mom brought in the germ soap, right? Wasn't that you? She brought in soap that you spray on your hands and you go wash, and then you use a black plate to make sure all the germs are gone. So the kids like scrubbed in, and then they played the operation board game. And then my grandma did yearly checkup where she taught them how to check their blood pressure and just hear their heartbeat with a stethoscope. And then we had Miss Zielinski shared her human body apron puzzle where they had to put the organs back because that was something else they wrote about. So it was a really fun day. All of these end of units are fun, but the end of units are the best. So. Thank you.
All right, Mr.
Can I just say something really quick?
Yeah, sorry.
I have to say, like, I've been meaning to stop in, I was gonna email you, I loved your Habitat dioramas you did.
Yes, they're so.
Those were awesome.
Aw, thank you
So
for saying
thank you
that.
for putting them out in the hallway first, so I don't know who looks at what over
Yes.
there, but I looked at a lot of that stuff and those were fantastic.
Thank you. Feel free to stop at any time. I love guests. So.
All right, Mr. Dennis also capitalized on an end of CKLA activity. Was something that he created, so I'll turn it over to him as they talk about their medieval times.
It's hard to follow. I didn't bring any kids or.
But yeah, like Mrs. Savage said, I co-teach with Mrs. Futrell and Miss Smith, so we've got a big classroom and they kind of handle most of the language arts stuff through CKLA. And while they were doing the empires of the Middle Ages, I was trying to think of something fun to do towards the end and came up with medieval day. So we had 4 stations and the whole 4th grade got to participate. It was kind of like a mini field day type thing. And the next slide kind of shows you some of the images. We had hatchet throwing, so all the kids got a chance to throw hatchets. You see that in the top left, and let's see, a couple of those. That was one station. I was pretty impressed that most of the kids actually were able to stick the hatchet within a few tries that they had. That was a lot of fun. We did jousting. So I think there's video.
I have some videos, yeah.
Yeah, there's a video of some jousting. So I got with the custodians and made the jousting lances and kind of just pieced things together. Just Mel donated the scooters as our horses and came up with a somewhat safe way to joust. The video wasn't all pretty, but it worked out. The bottom left one, that was the.
Everybody was okay.
Yeah. We had permission slips. The goal was to knock the ball off the cone and they basically had relay races with couldn't say if she won. Yeah, bottom right is Mrs. Raphael. She's trying to throw the hatchets there and I brought in a target from home and we did have one hatchet donated from a local blacksmith, which is pretty cool. And then I had some extras at home. Everybody got a chance to try
Mr. Dennis was very good at teaching, like, I missed my first time, but then, we gave pointers on how to do it.
I mean, if they have a consistent throw, it's really just a matter of move up or move back a little bit. And most of the kids were able to get it. They had plenty of opportunities. I think we had 40 minutes in each station, so it worked out pretty well. So those 2 were outside, and then on the inside, 2 classrooms, we had one group doing catapults. with spoons and rubber bands and stuff, so they were trying to launch, what are they using, marshmallows? I never got to see that one. So they were launching marshmallows, and then in the fourth station, they had bows and arrows, and they were shooting like the little green army men, but we actually found knights and soldiers and stuff, so they were using bows and arrows to shoot those in a different classroom, so I think the kids had a lot of fun. And my favorite part of teaching is trying to get kids to do something that they don't normally do in a regular classroom setting and have experiences that most kids, never have the opportunity to do. A lot of fun. I think the kids liked it. We did have a parent reach out after, what did they see it on Facebook? They saw these activities and pictures on Facebook, and they reached out and said that they have a whole collection of medieval scripts, I guess, a whole parchment that was actually written out on animal skins from that time period. It's been a collector forever and volunteered to come in maybe for next year, so.
Yeah, it was a former graduate, it's like.
Oh, yeah.
Former. I'm not gonna say dates because I don't get in trouble.
If it's 1980,
I'll just say former graduate.
So, yeah, it was an exciting day. The kids had fun, weather held out, so it was fun. All right, thank you.
So those who just kind of show what our teachers do with our curriculum, it's not just read it out of the book and teach it, they really want to expand on it and make it valuable for the kids to have memories. They can think about that. All right, next we have Miss Jet and Miss Spada. And they're gonna talk, they're kindergarten teachers, and they're gonna talk a little bit about partnership that we have with Child Guidance and Family Solutions for the SNOOP program. Rick, that they have worked with them, kind of our guinea pigs with them for this year.
So as Mr. Staff said, me and Ms. Jeff currently are like piloting a program through Child Guidance called BRIC. We actually do two different things through Child Guidance. One day a week on Tuesdays, we do something called Incredible Years, which is like a social emotional program. And then on Thursdays, Miss Alexis, who also teaches our dining room school, which is Incredible Years, comes into our classroom and does BRIC with us. And then we also, right now, first grade is doing Incredible Years as well. So kindergarten and first grade are both doing that as well.
Yeah, so like the big idea is that BRIC is like building resilience in children. So we use conscious discipline to, it's like a comprehensive and trauma-informed social emotional learning program that is using adults to transform the students, schools and families and their social interaction. So yeah, so we have a different couple main concepts here, and we're just gonna tell you about it, because I think that will give you a good background into how we actually are using this program in our classrooms.
So one of the first main concepts is that it's safety, connection, and problem solving. So safety is foundational in our classroom. So at the beginning of the year, we're creating safe classrooms by making like routines and procedures, making children feel safe, knowing what they need to know to come into our classrooms. And then to be able to learn, you have to feel safe. So kind of just creating that environment, and also making a connection with that as well. So those go hand in hand. Having a connection allows you to build trust and cooperation, and then that also helps reduce the behaviors alongside of that as well. And then the last part is problem solving. Problem solving is kind of the goal of when there is a behavior in classroom, what can you do to problem solve that behavior out? We currently, like we were talking about this today, like what kind of we do for that, and like a big one that we do is if we are having something and or anything small, if a child comes up to us and what do I need to do on this? Did you ask the person next to you first? What problem solving skills can you use that later can like kind of read out into the real thing as well?
Yeah, so it's also like a lot of touch on that is what a student's coming up to me and tattling. It's, well, did you use your words first? Like, how can you problem solve before you come and ask me? So I look at them and I say, did you use your words? And usually I get told, no. And then I say, okay, you go try first. If you can't fix it, come back to me. And then I observe how this child interacts with the problem at hand. And then, if I have to step in, obviously I'm stepping in. But the goal is to teach them the problem solving. And through that, we have also learned, Ms. Alexis is great. She's been teaching us that like a student in a survival state, so flight or flight, is not going to be able to problem solve. a student who is emotional is not going to be able to self-regulate, but we want them in that executive state. And we as teachers and caregivers help to move that student into the lower brain state so that they are able to co-regulate with everybody around them. Slide.
So there are 7 powers for us as adults to become conscious, like have a conscious mindset. This mindset shifts us to help model these emotional regulations, and help us make better choices to respond wisely to children. The first one is perception. Perception is just seeing the behavior more as a communication and not that they are as a disrespect. If you look up unconscious discipline on the website, they have goals for each of these sections. So the goal for this one is that either us as adults or our children, they're responsible for their own upset or their own behavior. The next one was unity. We're all in this together is what it says for unity. This is not only as just in our classroom, but we have been starting to use this as a team as well. One of the big things that at the beginning of the year, switching our verbiage instead of like I like to I notice. So even if Miss Jeff's class and my class is all in one room, I'll notice one of her kids instead of noticing one of my kids, and we both are on that same page, so it kind of will correct through the rest of it as well. The goal for that one was to offer compassion to others and to ourselves. Then we have attention, power of attention. It's what you focus on to get forward. So creating images of expected behaviors in kids' brains. Again, we do that at the beginning of the year with expectations and routines. Creating those expectations or routines then kind of get them to be focused on what we are doing. Power of free will is you can't make a child behave, but you can influence them. For that, the goal of that is just connecting and guiding them, not forcing them or coercing them into doing what instead of their behavior into doing what is supposed to be happening. Then power of acceptance, seeing reality clearly and responding with compassion. For that, the goal was to learn to respond with what life offers instead of attempting to make it go away. So there are things in life that happen. And most of the time we can't just make it go away, and we have to figure out how to deal with it and how to overcome those. Number 6 was power of love. Love, not fear, is our greatest motivator. Just seeing the best in others help us to consciously respond to our life event. So allowing us to love on our children and all that as well. Then number 7 was power of intention. Your intention determines your impact. Teaching new skills, so us teaching those new skills to students instead of punishing them for lacking skills that we have not taught to them that we're expecting them to have as well goes with that one.
Yeah, so to touch on the I noticed part 2, last year my class was a little rough and we are moving on and we are doing great now. And so I had to really, this would have been amazing for me last year. And I used a little bit of it when I was like struggling. So using the I noticed behavior, I'm taking my emotion out of it instead of being like, oh, I like that this student is walking quietly in the hallway. Or I like this student sitting quietly on the carpet. When you change your verbiage to I noticed that this student is sitting quietly, it's not me saying, oh, I love that about you, or I like that you're doing this. It's saying I noticed, and then you can see as soon as I say that, all of the other students are missing it. So like we're sitting on the carpet and I notice a couple kids are kind of fidgeting, moving around. I call a student out who is doing something good. And I say, I notice they are sitting crisscross, or they are sitting zip and flipped. I can see every single other student who isn't doing that, fix it right away. So it's like, I'm calling out a good behavior, not a negative behavior. So child guidance really changed my mindset in that. So it's the idea of, we have to develop the skills to then give the students the skills to co-regulate. And we're not putting a negative thing of, no, you need to sit crisscross. We're creating positive atmosphere instead. The different skills, teachable skills are, we have to teach composure, encouragement, assertiveness, choices, empathy, positive intent, consequences. So when we have those guidelines for ourselves set in place, then we are able to facilitate that to the students as well. Those are some points there. Sorry, the pictures on there, a couple of the goals, we haven't talked about pictures. No, it's okay. Can you go back? Can you go back? Look. Sorry, we forgot about the pictures. Like, can I use this?
That's all right, doing okay.
Okay, so, at the beginning of the year, we decided to put above both of our doors because our classrooms just happen to be right next to each other. So we shared a little space there. We wrote all of the students' names on, little circles that says you belong here. So that right away, so showing that like, we are a family. Not only my classroom, her classroom, if you're coming to school, to be in school, we're a family. So this is also teaching a lot of, we're a family, we are one. You come to school, you should feel loved, you should feel included. And so right away, they were able to see that they are included and they are welcomed. And you could see open house, the parents like looking up because they're like, where's my name? Where's my
Yeah,
name?
they still, I feel like, look
Because
up
that's
and.
the only thing they can recognize at that age is, that's my name. And then that just shows the brain state model of like different developmental areas too.
Another thing that goes along with this program is we have like monthly tasks. So the first one's actually in this Jets room, that is for calm down quarter, that was our first task. The next task was that we had to create a like family and friends board within like our classroom, and so that was my door around Thanksgiving. All of those were pictures from our field trip of like my class. I did have some here sent in pictures too as well from like home, of their families as well, so we did those.
And then I did thankful thoughts, so I just thought of something that each of my characteristics of each of my student, and I wrote like, the student is this, or the student is that. And then, another part is the good morning routine, so we try our best, some mornings are crazy. But we try our best to stand outside our classroom and we greet each student that walks in the door. So they get to choose, like on my door, they can either choose a high five, a hug, a fist bump, or we will dance. And they get the choice of that as they walk in that morning, and they love it. If I forget some mornings, I notice they will come over to my desk and they're like, here's your hug, Miss Chet, or I want a high five. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry. And then it like reminds me to get up out of my desk and stop what I'm doing and go and greet them in the morning. And then we're taught a lot of different regulation skills. So a lot of breathing movements are good for them. So a lot of rainbow breaths, or I have boards in my room at my calm corner where they can like trace it with their finger and like breathe in and breathe out. And then as a school, we also have a family board. It's in our main hallway. And the goal was to take a picture of your family and then we'll put it up on that board. That board is lacking. So if you are willing, send us an email, a picture of your family. We would love to get it on that board.
The first part of this though, is just self-regulation, that is a teachable skill, that we as teachers need to teach it, and that we need to teach it. Emotional self-regulation is not something that we are born with, like it is something that we are taught. It must be modeled, taught, and be practiced, so, we will do like mindfulness, like either after like lunch, or after specials. And that we as adults also must regulate ourselves first before helping our children do the same. So I can't be regulated before I can regulate the child as well.
Yeah, and then I kind of already touched on my part, it's good to but it is just like, our classroom is seen as school family. We spend so much time with these kids that we need to create that loving atmosphere, and we don't know what every student goes home to, we don't know what they're coming into school as, so our goal is to love them and foster that safety through routine and allowing them to feel like they belong in our classroom. So there's just a couple of things that we have done, and Brick has created such a great program for us to learn ourselves, but also to create a better learning experience for the students too. And it's about teaching like the children who lack those skills to control their behavior and not see it as much as a reward or the punishment, but as a way to co-regulate themselves and get them back on the emotional page that they need to be.
Any questions for that? So we are very thankful for Child Guidance and for Ms. Jet and Ms. Grado stepping up and being willing to pilot that program. Child Guidance is coming in for our January PD day to give a training to the whole staff, certified and classified on this, so we can kind of see how we can work that into our daily routine. And it's all free, so that's nice too. Yes, Ms. Tracy?
Is there any considerations of extending that to their families, like it's like an after hour kind of activity?
I don't know.
Not to put more on.
No, I think we can definitely.
But I'm like, oh,
To learn about.
that, yeah. No, I think it would be a good thing, and that's definitely something that we should bring up to Ms.
Yeah.
Flex. This will be her Friday. She would love that idea. She loves everything.
And I think that's something that we like are willing to stay after to do as well.
I like that idea. Yeah.
All right, so just a couple more things as we wrap this up. That's still Francis. not the greatest phrase, but. This year for our Comic Kid of the Month assemblies, we started inviting parents in for them to see their child receive their award and hear what the teachers have to say about them. It is a surprise for their kid. So the first time we did it, we had all the parents back in this little room here, brought all the kids in, and the parents kind of snuck out. And when the kids got called up to see give their award, and then they saw their parent out there, like just the smiles, everything was so awesome. And then if a parent can't make it or something, or if they have other people that want to share, we have them like send a video in. So that's an example of one.
I just wanted to tell you that me and Nana and Toto and Trina and Mario and your mommy and daddy are so proud of your hard work at school. We know that you're going to continue working hard so that you can reach your goals this year. We love you.
So it's just been a fun way to, get more interaction with the families and brag about our kids a little bit. And also Dairy Queen has been a huge partner this year. The new Dairy Queen has been donating stuff left and right. And so that each kid who gets a award gets a honeymoon gift card and then Dairy Queen coupons. The Dairy Queen also lets us pick 2 kids out of the 40 or so that get it each month, and they get a full Dairy Queen ice cream cake. So we love Dairy Queen. They donated one to staff. We had to join on announcements. A lot of cutthroatness. Zelensky is still.
I did not
bad.
get one. I did not get one. I got and they were bragging about it.
This year too, we've also really been working on our theater over the course of last year and over the summer. Mrs. Porter, our secretary, and Mr. Nick, our custodian, really worked hard on this stage extension. So it hadn't been used in a few years and it was kind of a little rickety. So they put new boards all in there, got little doorstop and wooden securements down low, so it's usable. Mrs. Porter made the apron that goes all around it. So we were very thankful for their skills there. We got every single light on the stage working. So we can see them. You can clap. We got the spots out in the audience working more into there. There's a few like up here that I can't figure out, but we're getting there. It looks awesome. Our 3rd graders just had their show. It was just so nice to be able to actually see every single kid from every spot versus where we had dark spots before. So very thankful. This is Mrs. Galello. She took up a donation from the staff to give little presents to Mrs. Porter and Mr. Nick to thank them for their hard work. Because they kind of did it on their own. So we're very thankful for that. Mrs. Brethwell could not be here tonight. Her son has a basketball game, but she wanted me to share what we have done at CES to help families this holiday season. Through her work, getting sponsors, working with our staff has been awesome. We have been able to help 73 students that are part of 31 CES families, thanks to our staff. And then she has got 17 community sponsors to be able to give families what they need this holiday season. She just worked with a family at the West Stage Child down the road to get them beds. They've just moved here, they didn't have anything, so she's been really working hard on that. Our staff has been awesome, taking care of our kids, so that. And one last chance to brag about us. We were nominated as the OADSA Hall of Fame school. So the OADSA is the K-8 Principals Association in Ohio. And we received a nomination for the Hall of Fame school. Don't know who nominated us. We just got an email one day and the congratulations bubbles flew, so that was super cool. So what we've done with that nomination came a very intense application process. And so we formed a writing team that we met twice to kind of go through every single question, see where we can, set ourselves apart from other schools. We had a gallery walk. We had all the questions posted up in a room where teachers could add their input, so we could incorporate all that there. So it is due January 7th, so we will submit it before then. We're supposed to submit it on Friday, and then we'll find out if we receive a site visit. So if they like our application enough, if we score well enough on that, then they come out and do a site visit. And then they'll pick, it's usually around 8 or 9 schools across Ohio to receive this award. Each year. So we're very hopeful, we think we deserve it. If you come to our school, you can know why we deserve it. If you listen to anything that people said tonight, you know that we deserve it. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, and then lastly, just a few upcoming dates. If you're bored on Friday, we got a lot going on. You are welcome to come to our K-4 PBS assembly in the morning. We will do our awards, and then we have a big massive reader unveiling. I know last year I shared with you guys our mask reader, some of the videos, some of the bloopers. We did it again, we got a lot better at it, so we don't have very many bloopers. But one mask reader struggled with her actual video. But then they say.
Did she not get one of the dairy?
If I could have a blooper reel, I would have but so far, none of the classes have got a perfect score with the guessing, and I sent it out in our parent newsletter this month, so the parents could, for this week, so parents could watch the videos and try to guess along. So we'll have that big unveiling, and then our troublemakers, they've had an awesome Christmas service. Lama couldn't be with us, here tonight. She has a thing at her church, but they have been all over the place. Miss Martin has gone to all of them. And the two started the last time. Christmas tree fest, church, the tutor house, Christmas tree lighting, so they'll do their performance for the school on Friday, and then that leads into our class Christmas parties. So that is what has been going on at CES. Questions? I do want to thank, I know there's some other faces here that I think that just speaks to our culture, at CES. And there's people here that just came to support their fellow people with Bowser, Cedric, Mrs. Swirsky, just to offer their support. They have to be here, but thank you guys for supporting your country. Thank you guys for your present.
Thank you, CES and Mr. Savage. Having been a former elementary teacher, I'm a bit biased, and I try not to play favorites, but the elementary is my favorite. Thank you for all you do. I think when you walk in that building, you can feel the genuine passion and love and excitement that you bring every day. And whether or not the Elementary Association picks you or not, you know, you're Hall of Famers to all of us. But thank you for all you do. Next up under the spotlights, I just wanna, I probably should have ordered these different. We had such great news, and now we're gonna give you bad news. In this building here at the high school, 8-ish-year-old building. This building is controlled air conditioning wise by 2 chillers. We have one chiller performing perfectly, and we have another one that has basically rotted from the inside out. There's no warranty on the chiller, so there was a warranty for 1 year for materials and 1 year for labor. I've shared that proposal with you. The question that we have is, as we know with everything, there's long lead times on equipment, especially in the HVAC world. The House School Council is a consortium that we're a part of, and they go out and they do RFP bidding on behalf of all the members of the House School Council. So we have 2 options. We can go out and RFP ourselves, or we could use this proposal that they've given us that they've already RFP'd for us. After talking to Mr. Olson today, we're strongly encouraging that you would be okay with the OSC version, because there's a 3 to 4 month delay in getting the materials in. If we did the RFP, we'd most likely not get that process started until January. We'd be looking at February, most likely to order, and we'd be pushing it to have the materials in. He would like to have them come in and do this work the first week of June. This building, like I said, has 2 chillers. The one chiller can run and maintain the temperature in the building throughout the spring and get us to summer. So we would like to proceed with the OSC version. If you're okay with that, we'd like to bring this back for our January 7th meeting and ask you to approve it.
Anybody have any thoughts?
Yeah.
I'm okay with this. We're
Oh, that's good. One thing I can share is Mr. Olson's been working on this, since we learned of this. And he actually provided me a new proposal today where he was able to work, with Gardner to use a few different parts, and they were able to save us about $15,000 from the original version of this proposal, which was 115. So now we're down to about 99, 100, which is a lot of money. And it's unfortunate. But it's our only option since the inner workings of the machine has rusted out. Then the last thing I have for you under district reports, each year we adopt a new calendar for the next school year. So for the 2026-2027 school year, it provided the draft. This has been shared with our Teachers Association, with all of the administrators, everybody at central office. Calendar is very similar to the one we have this year. It's very traditional. It matches all of the other PLCC schools for both Christmas break and spring break, which is a benefit to our students that attend PLCC. If we don't match those two up, then the students get half a spring break and half a spring break, half of our spring break, half of PLC's, and they never really get an entire spring break. So it's just beneficial to match those up. We start and end roughly the same time period as all of the other schools in PLCC. I believe unless somebody has a eureka moment, I believe this is the calendar that we'll share for your approval in January. And those are all of the items I have under district reports.
All right, thank you, Mr. Fisk. Next up, we have citizen participation. Lisa, did we have anybody submit? May have anything they'd like to say quickly? All right. Next is Board of Education comments. So we'll start with you, Dan.
You always come down my.
Well, yeah, you're on the left.
I tell you what, it was so nice listening to the love that goes on in that building. I mean, the only thing I was looking at is, I don't know whether the hospitalization transformation should have been before or after the medieval hatchet throwing, catapult, bows and those. Which one goes first there? We're gonna learn about how we're gonna take care of us after we get the hatchet thrown, or we can learn to do the medical after the. But it was so good, and the brick is good too. I mean, just you're thinking about the kids. I mean, duh. It's one of those things where you sit there and you go, that's really good. I wonder if any other schools do this. And there's gotta be something out there, but I've never heard of that going on with the kids as much as you guys do. I mean, it is so nice. And you're handling and turning it into a family it shouldn't be a great idea, but it is, because people don't do that. The family is just one of those things, and we just use it as a word sometimes, and it's kind of sad. But I enjoyed it. The self-impact, the one with the problem solving, building resiliences in children. And it's true though. You sit there and go, did you try this? Did you try that? And they'll say no. They'll say no. At least they're being honest, but it makes them think though. Why didn't I before I had you? And it's great. I don't know where to stop talking, but these guys all say, Dan, you're done. Okay, I'm done. Thank you so much for coming in. It was very, very enlightening.
Right, I'll go next. It's always great to see the elementary school. There's so much energy and good things happening there, and that's solely because of the teachers and staff. So thank you all for all you do. I've had 2 kids go through that building, and it's been a fantastic experience. So thank you. Just want to say this is Chris Davis's last board meeting tonight. So Chris has served on the board for what, 12 years? Yeah. Yep. It's been a long run, been a lot of good things. Chris has been involved very heavily in the district. Things like, the elementary school fish tank. That never would have happened without Chris. The boardwalk at the middle school, if you guys haven't seen it, he played a large part in that. He's been very instrumental in helping to get grants for various things throughout the district. He's really been an advocate for the schools, and on top of that, he's always been an independent thinker and a voice here on the board that I truly appreciate. And he's seen us through all the way in the depths of fiscal emergency to where we are today, so appreciate everything you've done. Thank you, and I hope you come back and see us occasionally. I'm sure I'll see you at school functions. I always do, because he's had a lot of things, so.
I would also like to add my thoughts. I've worked with Chris a few times on different projects. And I'd like to express my gratitude to him for his work and years of his service. Like to also thank the staff. I mean, it's crazy Christmas season for you too, and yet you're still giving 100% at school. And we really appreciate it. And I don't want you to think it goes unnoticed, because it doesn't. So I really wish you all a very, very Merry Christmas and the best in the new year. And let's all rest up and come back ready to tackle some new ideas. So we're always here if you have ideas you want to share with us or thoughts you want to share with us. But we do need you to know that you have our full support. So we appreciate it.
Yeah, and then, so thank you. And so usually it's pretty quick with me, like, oh, you know, whatever, thank you, but I have a few more comments today. I'm gonna prepare this. It's been 12 years I've been in the school board. It's been crazy from day one. I've stated the brick presentation was awesome. I wish you'd done that like 12 years ago.
Yeah.
Here's two of the quotes I particularly liked. How can you problem solve before you come and ask me?
Yeah.
Everybody here needs to remember that and just be thinking that in your head as we hear whatever we're hearing. And then, did you use your words first? Not just for kids, for adults too. So that was awesome. And then the Hall of Fame thing. You kind of referenced it, Dan, but I mean, that's crazy. You guys, like, seriously, you have to win. I don't know who's on the right.
No pressure.
Who else? Like, I'm no joke. When you're talking about the axe throwing. No, seriously, like, what kid is not gonna love that and remember that forever?
Yep.
So that was cool. And then the first aid and medical kind of, that was awesome. So yeah, the whole vibe there, Coventry Middle School, I mean, elementary school has just changed. So thank you all. So I do want to, first I'm going to say a few things about school board, then a few about teachers, and then just some kind of general comments about the district. First, like, as everybody up here knows, everybody who's ever been on the school board knows, this truly is like a thankless job. I think I can literally count on one hand the times anybody has ever said, even something that kind of was a synonymous with thank you. So I want to thank everybody up here. I want to thank everybody who's been on the school board. It's a crazy job, particularly anybody who's been president, particularly knows how nuts it is. Regular school board members, Dan, no offense, but you see a lot, but you don't see the craziness behind the scenes.
Oh, here, yeah.
So one of these days, hopefully you will, but so thank you. I do want to also mention, particularly a couple of people by name. There was somebody who ran for the school board before I ran for the school board. Her name was Laureen Reed. And a lot of people, seriously, did you use your words first? So many people come and they just come here and they're like, sometimes they have informed comments, sometimes they're making stuff up, sometimes but we've had so many people over 20 years come to school board meetings just ranting. And Lorraine was the first person who was kind of in that group, but who actually said, I'm going to do something, and ran for the school board. She didn't win, but that was a cool example that you don't just, it's easy to complain, it's hard to try and make change. So she was the first person really coming from the outside who tried to do that. Then kind of the third wave was you and Ron, Josh. And so I want to thank you guys too, because that was awesome. And I still remember that night of the election, I was out doing deer spotlight surveys in the middle of nowhere. And my wife's texting me saying, hey, Josh and Ron, and you were like, that was crazy. So thank you for stepping up too and trying to do something instead of just complaining about the situation. Some of the teachers, Chris Lawrence, I'm so glad you're here. This is, I'm not just adding you in, like, wait, hold on. No, but, so something that I have worked, and I will offer this again. My first week when I was on the school board 4 years ago, it's the only time I've ever sent a message out to everybody in the district. And one of the things I was like, hey, I just like to write grants. I write a lot of grants. I'm kind of okay at it. If anybody wants help with writing grants, let me know. Hardly anybody has taken me up on that in 12 years. I'm still gonna be offering just the same thing. But so people who have had, I want to list them by name, and I hope I'm not forgetting anybody who is really, but Jim Trogdon, he is a retired middle school science teacher. He was really big at getting grants. He and I worked together on some really big things, like million plus. We didn't get those really big things, but he was really involved. Lisa Gomevsky was awesome. She is a former elementary school teacher, one of the best teachers we've ever had. She worked with me on a couple of smaller grants that morphed into the big tank at the elementary school. We started that with Lisa Gomevsky with a tiny little classroom tank, and now we have that big thing with those crazy fish in it. So Lisa Gomevsky, Renee Burkhart's been pretty consistent. Chris Lawrence, Missy Carr, another former teacher at the elementary school, worked with me on a couple of things. Rebecca Rethmel has been really cool, like proactively, like saying, hey, can you try and help? I've been happy to. And then at the middle school, Adam Shoemaker. And out of that list, everybody that's awesome, all those people are going out of the way, out of their box to try and bring in special funding to do cool stuff. But Chris, you and Adam Shoemaker have definitely taken it to a different level. And something I really, really appreciated was when you guys worked with me on that Lego grant a few years ago. And that kind of, I know you were doing your thing, not diminishing that, and Adam was doing his thing, but that was a cool bridge between the elementary school STEM program and the middle school STEM. So thank you for that. And Adam Shoemaker, if you guys don't know, and if you elementary school teachers have not been to the boardwalk behind the middle school, please go there. It's super cool. Adam Shoemaker, who some of you may know, now he's a counselor at the middle school. He actually built a lot of that personally himself with his own hands. Nuts. But so thank you. And then hopefully Adam will hear about that. I'll talk to him personally too, but very cool. I know there's so much stuff everybody's done. Oh my gosh, 12 years so long. But one thing that I really will never forget, at least I was looking over all the crazy emails, but again, I'm so glad elementary school is here today because my kids did go to Coventry Elementary School. My one son now is at the high school. I'm most familiar with the elementary school. All of you, I think, well, you all are new teachers with maybe a couple of exceptions since I've been on the school board. But so it would be hard for you guys to imagine, but a few years back, 2018, like we were having some serious problems with our elementary school music teacher. And we were trying to do a play, Lion King Jr., and it just was getting crazier and crazier down the rabbit hole. So finally we had to intervene and basically just take that out of that teacher's realm of like operations, and we did it ourselves. So we ended up hiring an outside person to direct that, and those emails are crazy related to Lion King Jr. 2019. But something that I think hardly anybody, even who were really involved to some extent, didn't know was it really would not have happened without Renee Burkhardt stepping up. And she she didn't get paid anything. She didn't do anything. She was there every night. Even when the person we hired to direct it was skipping or whatever weirdness was going on, she was there every night. Her kids, Maddie and Logan, stepped up. They ran all the lights at that crazy place. I mean, you know how it is. Can you imagine like 2 middle school kids running that whole thing for a whole production? But the Burkhardts were just incredible. So, I will never forget that about her. Something else about the teachers, I thought it was awesome. I need Josh can you know better than others. I really love it when people come and talk and speak at school board meetings, even when they're saying crazy things or making whatever up or whatever. It's still just cool to have people stepping up. And So when all the teachers, many teachers came a few months ago and gave, some presentation about what they thought the district, where we were headed, that was awesome, I think. The school board really, in some ways, and it's kind of by design, I mean, it really should be this way. But we're insulated a lot from what's going on at the field level in a lot of ways in the district. So I thought that was great. But the only teacher that I remember in 12 years who came to a school board meeting as an individual to talk about an issue publicly was Rich Studden. And he's at the middle school. So I just want to acknowledge that that took a lot of courage for him. That was years ago. And he was having some serious problems with his classroom. It literally was like a third world. There was exposed wiring. It was insane. It wasn't that out of norm at the time. But he came to a school board meeting. He's like, invited all the school board and I think I was the only one who went. But I just thought that was awesome that he came as an individual without a big support crowd and gave his piece about the conditions of the classrooms at the middle school. So I really appreciated that. And I do want to say Lansing Junior too. It wasn't, Renee Burkhart really stepped up. Rebecca DeMeth also was like essential for making that happen. Sarah Wolf was essential. There was a lot of people who were involved with that. So I don't want to ignore others, but Renee was really, really the driver. And then finally, this is like going to be the super tedious part. I just have to read stuff. And sorry, you guys are going to be held hostage here since you're still here. But every year we have multiple audits done in the district. Some are done by outside, well, they're all done by outside organizations, but one of them is done by the auditor of state. Every year we have to do this report. I started on a school board in 2014. So we get these reports every year, independent auditors report, and I'm going to read the first paragraph, then I'm going to skip. Here's how it starts. Report on the financial statements. If you can imagine a bureaucratic like document, this is it. We have audited and it starts the same every single time. It's like, oh my God, can you get some imagination and creativity? No, they cannot. They need to learn about it. We have audited the accompanying financial statements of the governmental activities, each major fund and the aggregate remaining fund information, Coventry Local School District, Summit County, blah, 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 as of the year ending, and related notes to the financial blah, 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 blah. It just goes on like that for pages, for dozens of pages. And then at the end, there's always something called findings. And for my first one in 2014, there were 6 findings. The description of what they were went over 12 pages. And they included things like material weakness, cash reconciliations. There were hundreds of thousands of dollars of errors in 2013, just how money was posted to what accounts. Misposting of revenues, that was a different thing, $200,000 misposted. It just goes on and on, 6 things. This was my first report. I'm like, what? I'm on the school board going, oh, what? How did this happen? So it goes on. So the next year, we get the ones, this is covering the year. The first year I was totally on the school board. Next time there were 10 findings that covered 14 pages. And at the beginning of each of these findings, there's always a table. And it says, it asks a bunch of questions. And then it says basically like, were any of these, things found? In 2013, it was 6 of 6. These things were found to not comply. This was out of compliance. 2014, 5 of the 6 things. For instance, were there any significant deficiencies in internal controls reported at the financial statement level? That's pretty overarching. It's pretty huge, but Coventry, yes, it's just yes for years. The bottom line in that table is asking, is the district a low risk auditee? Meaning, are there problems or are there not problems? Is the district a low risk auditee? 2014, no. That means we were high risk. The state is acknowledging right up front, we're high risk. And there's 10 things they found, and they covered literally hundreds of thousands of dollars. It was insane how many dollars. One of them, finding number 4, transfers of funds. We had misallocated or misappropriated within the financial accounting system almost $900,000. We've taken funding from this, fund and put it in this fund and this fund and put it, and almost all the money was going into the general fund from all these other funds. So again, I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. It just goes on and on. Over the years, they started to get better. And so I just want to read you the one from this year, which covers last school year. So all of you, I think, were mostly here, or part of it at least. But so this is one covering last year. The same, if I read the same, it's all the same. It starts with that same crazy bureaucratic paragraph about this, blah, blah, blah. And then it goes back at the end. It has the exact same table that was in there in 13, 14, 15, all the way through every year, all the way back. And that one table that has those 7 questions. It says blah, blah, blah. Are you this? Are you that? Were you this? Were there material control weaknesses? All those. This past year, all of them, no. We aced it 100%. So this goes from a solid 0 to 100% passing. Teachers, everybody knows, which is better. I'll tell you what, I noticed that in this year, we had 0 of the 7 things called out. The bottom line about, is this a high or low risk auditee this past year? Yes, low risk. So we went from 0% passing, tons of findings over hundreds of thousands of dollars to none, basically. And so those last 2 things, in the past years, we've had all those pages, dozens of pages covering the problems in the district. This past year, those 2 sections, again, if I read the title, the first one's called Findings Related to the Financial Statements Required to be Reported in Accordance with the Government Accountability Standards. This year, guess what we had? None. All it says, none. The second one, Findings and Question Costs for Federal Awards. In the past, we had multiple under each one. This year, none. So we went from that when I started on my school board to this. And probably that is the biggest change I have seen. And I just want to say, Lisa, this is because of you. I know you get pilloried and people are coming in, like everything, you're getting jabbed from all sides. This is the change you have made in this school district. And I don't think there's anybody else here, like on earth, who has followed Coventry's financial situation every month and looked at these audit reports and looked at the financial for 12 years and went from when we were $2 million in the hole to this. But that's because of you. So thank you. Yes, amazing transformation over the last 12 years.
Thank you.
So, yes. So, and thank you all the teachers who've done everything for this. I appreciate it. And, yeah, I will still be around somewhere, but not here. So that's it. Thank you.
All right, where are we? Okay, so next up is the business portion of our meeting where we go over all of the exciting and riveting contracts and things that you may not want to stick around for, but if you do, that's great. So we usually take a quick break. You guys want to cut out and open too.
If anyone wants to check out the plaques that the school district has won, you go to the treasurer's office and as you enter, there'll be 5 plaques up there designated for this.
Makes sense.
Right here. More weapons. Thank you for going.
Those like signs and yeah, turns. We'll take it.
George South. I was like, he was pretty impressed.
I know the Moody's ones, the big ones.
Yeah.
I mean, you're an A grade and you said more.
It's on. There's just giving anything for.
That was very nice, Chris. You can't do that. Everyone's. I've left it everywhere. Yeah, have you seen those placards in the entryway? As soon as you go in, you'll see the drinking fountain, and over to the left will be the goodies, and then 3 of the other ones down below, and there's 2 for transparent.
Texted, so
there's a card. And as soon as you go in the door, you got to go to the button and all that kind of stuff. There's a drinking fountain right there
Camera.
as you go into
Oh my gosh.
her office.
I do try.
Card.
What? Yeah, Laura said there was something that was blocking the view of you on the camera.
Probably that.
Oh, I did, yeah.
No, seriously, it's the.
Oh, from that one. Oh, I was looking at this one.
They said it's the bag.
They don't like our bag?
Just.
Right here. Put on this side, man.
Over here?
I don't know if it's.
Well, that's right, something.
That'll block you.
That's better. Every week I'm gonna bring a balloon like that. Send it to you. Wait, are we recording?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Thanks, Mr. Davis, for coming back.
Yeah, likewise. So hopefully, I mean, I still will be at the elementary school like every month,
Taking care of the fish, yeah.
taking care of the fish. Yeah,
They're mean.
seriously.
Okay.
The fish guy.
That's how you know.
I think
So you have to be eyes, you know.
All right, thanks, everybody. We'll see you.
Yeah, have a good Christmas if I don't see you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Miss Lawrence.
I'll sign that to you.
Thank you, yes, yes, that's great.
The brick award. Now that's just that ordinary.
All right, let's get picked back up.
Yeah.
And everything else is the third Wednesday of it. Pretty much. I think.
Okay, let's move forward with the meeting. So next up is superintendent's recommendations. George?
Item number 1, certified personnel A. I feel like a broken record every month reading these, but we have more again this month, resignations for retirement purposes. It's recommended that the board accept the resignation due to the retirement of the following employees with positions indicated. That's for Mr. Murray and Mrs. Tucker, who have both given a lot to Coventry over the years. Been very dedicated comments, and we wish them nothing but the best. And then we have a number 2, retirement resignation amendment. It's recommended that the board accept the amended resignation date due to the retirement of the following employee. And that's Ms. Masters. As you remember, she told us, gave us a lot of leeway, advance notice that she was retiring. And once she did the final paperwork, she needed to move it back to the end of December. She originally was gonna go the middle of January, but after working with STRS, she needed to move it to the end of December. So again, we wish her well and thanks for all that she's done. Number 3, rescind winter coaching supplemental. It's recommended that the board rescind the following coaching supplemental contract approved at the October 15th, 2025 Board of Education meeting. And then number 4, it's a supplemental coaching contract for 25-26. It's recommended the board grant or reissue the following supplemental coaching contract for the 25-26 school year. Non-stop staff contracts are contingent upon receipt of a clear record of required background checks. Number 5 is a separation agreement / resignation. It's recommended the board accept the following resignation separation agreement of the following employee. That's for Mrs. Phillips, Coventry Elementary School teacher, effective February 24th, 2026. And those are all of the items under personnel certified.
All right, thanks, George. Is there a motion to discuss and consider?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments? All right, Lisa, could you call the roll, please?
Yes, Mr. Davis,
Yes.
Mr. Bowser.
Yes.
Mr. Hostetler
Yes.
and Mrs. Pat.
Yes.
Number 2, personnel classified. Number 1, employment. It's recommended the board approve the following for the position indicated. That's for Mrs. Risner, 3-hour CES Cook's Helper, effective December 15th, 2025. Number 2 is change in hours, buildings, and positions. It's recommended the board approve a change in the hours, building, and or positions for the following employee. And that's for Ms. Carrie Myers, who is moving from 2.5-hour CES lunch recess assistant to 2.5-hour CES lunch recess assistant and 4-hour bus driver. Mrs. Myers has been working since early this year to get her bus driving license. We're excited that she was willing to jump from some of the other ranks that she was working for us into a position of high need. So we're very excited to have her as an official part of our transportation team. And those are all of the items under personnel classified.
All right, very good. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second. Any questions or comments?
It's just cool. We have some more help with bus driving.
Yeah, absolutely. Very grateful.
All right, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Davis,
Yes.
Mr. Bowser.
Yes.
Mr. Hostetler
Yes.
and Mrs. Pat.
Yes.
Item number 3, other business items. A, recommendations. Number 1, contract with GCL Education Services. It's recommended the board approve a contract with GCL Education Services to provide educational services for a Summit County Children's Services Place student. The cost of the service is $225 per day and will be paid using general funds. Number 2 is an ACT modified testing schedule for Coventry High School. It's recommended that the board approve a modified testing schedule for Coventry High School students on Tuesday, February 24th, 2026. Number 3 is a modified testing schedule for Coventry High School and Coventry Middle School. It's recommended the board approve a modified schedule for CHS and CMS students on their designated testing dates. Testing calendar is Exhibit S1. And just a reminder, this is a requirement as the board adopts our academic student calendar. And then any changes to it then have to also be adopted by the Board of Education. Number 4 is accept donations. It's recommended the board accept the following donations. $500 for CMS student activities from the VFW. $500 for Coventry Elementary School All-School Cookout from the VFW. And $1,600 for needy families at CMS for Christmas. And that person's anonymous. But I can't share that person is an alumnus of Coventry. I'm not sure of the actual graduation, but I don't want to give out too much information, but it is a former comment. Number 5 is revised policies and procedures. It's recommended the board complete the first reading of the revised and or deleted policies and procedures for discussion only per Exhibit S2. And with the mountain of legislative action that occurred last summer and last spring, these are all policies just catching up with all of those bills that were passed last spring and last summer as part of the budget bill and many of those other bills that the legislature passed. Number 6, deletion of inventory, Operations Department. It's recommended the board approve the following deletion of inventory from the Operations Department. That's for the 2011 Ford van, 2007 International Bus, 2014 International Bus, 9 smart boards, and 8 iPads that have all been declared obsolete. And number 7, band choir Disney trip. It's recommended the board approve the following trip at no cost to the district. The entire trip is paid for by families and or through the choir funds, band parent accounts. And as you know, Mr. Cummings, he's always ahead of schedule. So he's getting his trip lined up for next March 3rd through the 9th, 2027. And those are all of the items under other business.
All right, thank you, George. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second. Yep. Any comments or discussion? Just say it seems like we're getting quite a few more donations recently, which is very much appreciated. Yeah. Good. And for the board members that'll be here in January, we do have quite a few policies to review. They always read those twice. Tonight's the first reading, so make sure before we vote on them next month that you at least review them, even though they are kind of mandated by the state mostly, but good to be familiar. Would you call the roll?
Sure. Mr. Davis,
Yes.
Mr. Bowser,
Yes.
Mr. Hostetler,
Yes.
and Mrs. Pat.
Yes.
And next is treasurer's recommendations.
Okay, item number 1, it is recommended that the board approve and place on file the November 25 financial report and reconciliation for exhibit T1. Item 2, it is recommended that the board approve and place on file the revised October 2025 financial report and reconciliation for exhibit T2. Item 3, it is recommended that the board approve the POs over 5,000 for exhibit T3. Item 4, it is recommended that the board approve and place on file the annual credit card rewards report in compliance with Ohio Revised Code 3313.311, Section G, that states an annual report shall be filed detailing all rewards received based on the use of the district issued credit cards per exhibit T4. Item 5, it is recommended that the board approve the resolution to participate in the Ohio School Board Association's Legal Assistance Fund for the 2026 calendar year for a total cost of $250 as outlined in exhibit T5.
All right, is there a motion?
So moved.
I'll second. Okay, any questions or comments on those items?
No, but I'll just say the Ohio School Board Association. I don't know if Dan or Terry, if you guys have contacted them. But you can always call them and ask them legal questions. They're not our legal representatives, so they can't give us a legal, opinion really, or instructions. But they can give like general guidance, and they have a lot of exposure to different.
I've used them this fall and they were very
So,
helpful.
yeah, and they're always very prompt, so if there's ever an issue that, you can just call them informally. And they're always very.
Yeah, Mr. Hofer from the PLCC is a big guy, and he goes down and he's in on a lot of the committees in Columbus, and he comes back to the PLCC and shares his dismay at times with what goes on.
But in this, essentially, there's
Yeah.
some slight fee, but it's essentially free for.
So it is, yeah.
My first couple of years, I reached out to him several times just with questions and
General
legal
questions.
advice. I mean,
Whereas
they're
if you
not-
ask those same things to a district attorney, then they're on the clock.
Yeah,
We're getting
Yeah.
charged for it, so this is like a cool option.
okay, anything else? Go ahead and call the roll.
Mr. Davis,
Yes.
Mr. Bowser,
Yes.
Mr. Hostetler,
Yes.
and Mrs. Pat.
Yes.
All right, and finally, we have a couple of Board of Education housekeeping items, recommendations. So we have discussion items for the January organizational and regular board meetings. So the organizational meeting happens every January. It's typically where we elect president, vice president, a bunch of chairs and appointments and things. So we usually do that like a half an hour before the first board meeting, but there is a note on here to propose Wednesday, January 7th, 2026 for the organizational meeting. We're moving out the records retention meeting, right?
Yes, we're eliminating it,
Okay, yeah. So,
but we're not having it that day.
right, yeah, we're taking it to another day. So we start organizational at 5:30 or 5:45?
I would say 5:45, but usually when we start at 5:30, we usually have a dead period, so
Yeah.
5:45. I think
Okay.
works better.
All right, so organizational meeting at 5:45 and regular meeting at 6 o'clock. Does that work for everybody to be here?
On the 7th.
The 7th, 5:45 and 6 o'clock.
Yep.
Yeah, good, okay. And then I believe for Laura, myself, and you will have to take an oath again, oath of office at that meeting. Yeah,
First thing.
first thing, okay, before we can do anything official. Okay. So there are 3 recommendations from the Board of Education. The first is, it is recommended that the board set the date for the January Board of Education meeting, as we just discussed. Second recommendation is, it is recommended that the board appoint a president pro tempore to preside at the January Organizational Board of Education meeting. And third, it is recommended that the board approve the memorandum of understanding between Coventry Education Association and the Coventry Local School Board of Education per exhibit B1. Is there a motion to discuss and consider those?
Second.
Okay. I still feel like we're a little bit jumbled here in the order, so we need to appoint a president. What's that?
We should make a nomination for the president.
Yeah. Is there a nomination for the president pro tempore who would oversee the organizational meeting in January?
I'm gonna nominate Josh Hostetler.
Second.
Any other nominations? Okay. All right, so we have the Board of Education meeting, January 7th, 5:45. We have a nomination for me as president pro tempore, and then the third item is the memorandum of understanding for the CEA and the board. Is there any other discussion on those?
Could I just share a few things? Girls wrestling is the fastest growing sport in Ohio High School Athletic Association. We have a number of girls in our district that are phenomenal wrestlers. It's exciting to see girls breaking down barriers and jumping into sports that have been traditionally boy dominated. So it's exciting to have the beginning of a girls team, which should do nothing but grow going forward. And if I put on your radar, one of the next fastest growing sports, there's club material right now, is girls flag football, which is being supported by both the NFL and the Hall of Fame in Canton. We have a number of girls that are trying to organize a team here. I understand some of our neighboring schools are trying to do the same. So that'll be exciting to watch as that grows. And the girls and their families get behind that, really grow that into a sport here at Coventry. And last was competition cheerleading. We were going to, we didn't expect to have an MOU. So Mr. August and I were looking to propose competition cheerleading in our next negotiation cycle, which would have been next year with CEA. But since we were opening the MOU in the coaching aspects and supplementals, we felt it was an appropriate time to also include competition cheerleading. What I've been told by parents over the last few years is there are a few things that the girls need to be able to compete and have a fair chance of making a college squad. They need to have their varsity experience, competition, and experience stunting. So with competition cheerleading going from a club here to an actual recognized sport in Coventry, it guarantees our girls that have a chance or have the abilities to further their cheerleading skills at the next level. We have all three of the aspects that I've been told by parents that our students need to have a fair chance of making those squads. So that's just the background on those two items.
Okay, thank you.
Can I ask, so that's the MOU. Is there anything in there like, I cannot remember, like other than the coaching
No, just
positions?
just wrestling, acknowledging that it's girls and boys now, and then competition cheer.
Okay, nothing else has been added to that.
Nothing.
It's, thank you.
All right, Lisa, could you call the roll, please?
Mr. Davis,
Yes.
Mr. Bowser,
Yes.
Mr. Hostetler,
Yes.
and Mrs. Pat.
Yes.
Okay, and there's no need for executive session this evening. So is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll move.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, good night, everybody.
I forgot to share, I'll try to get a picture of Mr. Cummings, but they revealed at the high school band concert this week, the new marching band uniforms. So I'll try to get a picture and share that with you. So yeah, I'll see them, they look pretty cool. A little more new wave than I've seen in the past, but the kids love them and they did a good job. They look good.
Yeah. Forward to that.
They already got them?
They just had one, and they had one student where it was kind of the culmination of the program was the reveal of the new marching band uniform.
Is it your size? Should you model it for us, George, or?
I don't think anybody was to see that, but they're definitely made for high school kid classes.
No.
My granddaughter's 9 and she's big into wrestling.
It's amazing, that's what.
They live in Talmadge, but they go to the Stowe group.